at the High Court. Because why? There is actually a possibility of jurisprudence on how bail should be handled. Bearing in mind, like you said, the discretion of court, there is a need for guidance from a superior court on how lower courts, the High Court and magistrate courts should exercise their jurisdiction. And this is in addition to getting the liberties of this too. My Lord, this is a golden opportunity for this honorable court to guide the lower courts. There is very limited jurisprudence.
Want us to legislate?
Not legislating, interpreting the law in a purposive manner. Like we have cited these provisions.
You want the court to be activist?
No, not my Lord. I am aware of the doctrine of judicial activism.
Because you are saying go out and...
no, we are not doing that, my Lord.
Yes.
Much as judicial activism is also there within our jurisprudence. But the point here is to interpret this particular law not in that very strict sense. Where discretion is exercised, and we intend to submit on this once we are granted, once we go past this stage. Okay. Where discretion,
have you concluded?
Where discretion is exercised with material irregularity, this court should not shy away from interfering with that decision of the lower court.
That's not it.
That's the point I wanted to make.
That's not it.
There was that ancillary issue, my Lord, about, I don't know whether I should address you the same, which my learned friend had raised. And
you don't have to ask court to handle your matter.
Most obliged, my Lord. The issue of Justice Players overturning the decision of Justice Victoria.
Yeah.
My Lord, there was a bit of a problem with that. Why? Because the accused person had been admitted to bail with the conditions that they paid, and they paid. They paid 20 million each, and the court took the money. After court taking their money, they stayed in prison. That is...
It's not the court which takes their money.
Upon a court order, my Lord. No, my Lord, a charge arising out of the same series of events.
A different charge.
But earlier on, my Lord, when you look at the record, they had amended the charge sheet. Because originally there were 6 counts. Murder and attempted murder. Then they amended the charge sheet to say, we are adding on terrorism. And they still remained on bail. Now this other charge came, and it indicated that it also had, I mean, the allegations appeared around the same time.
The only point there is the second judge have jurisdiction. You don't have to go into all that. Should the judge have jurisdiction?
The judge had jurisdiction, but exercised it with material irregularity. But exercised it with material irregularity, and that's the reason we are here. Most popular part.
Okay, any response?
Just a few points. Your Lordship,
Your name again for the record?
Joseph Kyomhengo, Chief State Attorney. With due respect to my senior land colleague, he has made some misrepresentations to this honorable court.
To which senior land colleague?
Counsel, Honorable Lukaku. Your Lordships, the applicants are being detained on 2 separate charges. The first charge being Masakasi Arabi 605 of 2021, and the second charge being...
What charge is that?
It is murder and terrorism. The second one is Luengo, CRB 203 of 2021. Your Lordships, those 2 charges are totally different, separate. The parties are different, same for the 2 applicants who appear in both files. But the parties are different.
The parties?
Yes, the accused persons are different. And the places of commission are different. Luengo CRB was committed from within Luengo district, whereas Masaka CRB 605 was committed from within the from within Masaka district. Your Lordships, there is, whereas the applicants are not. Your Lordships, the second one is murder, one count of murder.
No, the first one is murder and terrorism.
Yes, Your Lordship.
Then the one of Luengo is what?
Murder, one count of murder. On the first, in Masaka 605, there is murder, terrorism, and attempted murder. And Your Lordships, one of the challenges we are facing is the multiplicity of cases. This matter, this issue of duplicity is before the Constitutional Court. However, in as much as the parties, the applicants are not the parties in court, but the subject matter is the same. Your Lordships, about a week ago, we were at the War Crimes Division of the High Court in Kololo, arguing and opposing an application by the same applicant.
You are going too far into that. This is the rejoinder, please.
Much obliged, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, it is not true that Justice Toyanze exercised his discretion with material irregularity. He exercised his discretion normally, and the applicants.
They say judiciously.
Judiciously.
Yes.
Much obliged. And the applicants have omitted deliberately to pursue the remedy that is available to them. Where they have filed an application or applications, and the same is not being entertained, Your Lordships, they have a remedy under the Human Rights Enforcement Act.
Either reapply for bail or go under the Human Rights
Enforcement Act. Much obliged. Your Lordships, in further response to
No, what is that? You can't read it handy.
Your Lordships, under the enforcement, where an accused person believes that their fundamental rights have been violated, they have a right up to petition court under either Article 50 or under the Human Rights Enforcement Act to petition court, and the remedy that they would have is to nullify their charges. However, they have omitted, or rather they have circumvented all the procedures for this shortcut.
Wouldn't you if you sat in prison for 9 months?
Your Lordship, under Article 134, this appeals lie from the High Court to this Honorable Court, but in accordance with the law. Being in prison for 9 months does not mean that I should abuse the process of court. However long I may stay in prison, I am still mandated to follow the due process of the law.
Very careful with the language. This is a public trial. When you want to abuse, it's not the same thing as using a wrong procedure or going to a wrong forum. It's not necessarily abuse of process. Abuse of process is something specific. So, to be clear, are you talking about abuse of process, or are you talking about appealing to the wrong court or using the wrong procedure or something like that?
Your Lordship, much obliged, using the wrong procedure. Your Lordships, in further reply, it is not true that this court is seized with the jurisdiction to entertain this particular application, because this appeal, because it lacks, we reiterate our earlier submission that it lacks legal basis.
What do you say about Section 133 of the
Your Lordship, that's where I was coming. Your Lordships, it is a cardinal rule of statutory interpretation that where there are two statutes touching the same matter, the two should be interpreted along. They should be interpreted mutatis mutandis. And secondly, it is also a cardinal rule of statutory interpretation that the latter statute amends the earlier statute. Your Lordships,
In what circumstances will the later statute amend an earlier statute?
sorry?
In what circumstances? You just don't amend. If they are in harmony, why can they be made in statute?
Your Lordship, section 36. Section 36 is not in. Sections 36 and 35 are not in harmony with of the Criminal Procedure Code. Are not in harmony with Section 132 of the Prior Indictments Act. Your Lordship, since the Criminal Procedure Code is a legislation of 1950, and Prior Indictments Act is a legislation of 1973, the TIA takes precedence over the CPC. Your Lordships, it is also our submission that there is no special finding. There is nothing like a special finding as alluded to by my land senior colleague, Honorable Kwago. Your Lordships, this is not a matter of constitutional interpretation.
You go back to where his argument started. It goes back to the Constitution, which talks of bail and says this is special.
Your Lordships, bail, there is a procedure of dealing with bail. I was coming to that, Your Lordship. That whereas the Constitution provides for the right to apply for bail, this procedure is subject to other laws like the like sections 14 and 15 of the Prior Indictments Act that provide for the circumstances under which bail can be granted or denied. Your Lordships, that section is silent on what happens, or is silent as to where the bail application is denied, whether an accused person has a right to apply for bail. And Your Lordships, it is also our submission that bail, it is silent on whether an accused person has a right to apply, to appeal against a decision of the High Court where the bail application has been denied. Your Lordships, it is furthermore, it is our reply that bail is an interlocutory order or remedy, and if you may allow, Your Lordships, I can read the definition of interlocutory order as
Where do you derive that? Just tell, we shall look at that.
Oxford Dictionary, Your Lordship.
Which page and which edition?
Why use an English dictionary? Do you have a legal? Do you have a legal dictionary? Those are not words used in ordinary
Much obliged, Your Lordship. Much obliged. Your Lordships, it is also our submission that the trial process or procedure begins right from the time an accused person appears in court for either plea or mention of the charges. So, any applicant that prosecution commences at a stage where an accused person appears in court for either plea or mention of the charges. Any other aspect, any other application or order made therein before the final determination.
So what do you understand by pre-trial?
Your Lordships, Pre-trial means the processes before the actual trial. Pre-trial is a procedure still within the main trial.
What is pre-trial? What is pre-trial?
Have they taken a plea before a high court judge? No, yes.
Not yet, but they have been committed.
Yeah, but your
So
submission.
you've given us your definition of a trial. That's what we are taking.
Yes, much obliged.
Okay. Summarize, because this is just a rejoinder.
Your Lordships, in reply to my land senior colleague, Council Rakafu.
I don't see Sawanyana. That Sawanyana was segregated. Because he must be in court. What has happened?
What happened to the toilet?
Yes, we need an explanation. We need to know. Because if he doesn't attend this trial, maybe he's not feeling well or something, I don't know. Prison authorities. He has come out now.
Your Lordships, in reply to my land senior colleague, Council Rakafuzi, it is not true that the applicants were abducted. They were arrested.
Does it make a difference? Does it make a difference?
Your Lordships, maybe.
Because the method may be the same.
The abduction.
Your Lordships,
Are
what?
they in lawful custody of the
They are in lawful custody. Much obliged.
Much obliged.
That is all from me.
My Lord, I just want to refer this court to something more. From the decision, my lords, that we filed, that is the one of Makumbi Moses versus Uganda, my lords. I would refer you to page 6 of the judgment. My lords, the argument by my Lord senior colleague Elias Lukwago and the Lord Mayor alluded to section 36.
section.
36 of the Criminal Procedure Code Act. As a provision upon which this court can entertain this appeal. My lords, it was clearly stated, and I quote, in that case, on paragraph 20, 20 of page 6.
There were 20 paragraphs.
Yeah, there's a paragraph 20 on page 6 of the judgment. Makumbi Moses.
That is lines.
Oh, okay. Line 20. That our understanding of the above provision, that is section 36 of the Criminal Procedure Code Act, is that it comes into play only after an appeal is properly before the court. It cannot be a foundation for a right of appeal against an introductory matter.
Yeah, and they don't say this is an interlocutory matter. That has been the argument all along. That this is not an interlocutory, is not an interlocutory matter. You should have been addressing it in that light.
Most obliged, my lord. We had our submission that this was an introductory matter and not separate.
Okay, thank you.
Most obliged. That's all.
Bagenda kuwanza atunulere. Tokaje.
Council, thank you for your very extensive submissions, and the authority is reported. You are raising matters that need to be looked into much more closely than meets the eye. We therefore request for time, that we get time and come up with a ruling that will cover all the matters we bring. So we adjourn this matter for a ruling to be delivered on the 29th of June, 2022. That is Wednesday next week. This is the Court of Appeal of Uganda. If you want to go there, you go there. We are going to be here. This is why prison.
This is okay. My Lord, my prayer is only one. Those people need medical treatment.
They need what?
Medical treatment. Can they be out till the night?
This is the bail application is what we are going to hear. So how would we again circumvent that? Let's handle first things first. Yes, I see the hands of both Segirinya and Sewanyana, Honorable Segirinya. Can we start with the Honorable Sewanyana? Please rise and tell us what you want to say.
Thank you, Your Lordships. First of all, I apologize for leaving court without applying for you. I wasn't feeling well. I thought that I could go out and vomit a bit. Your Lordships,
Sorry for your
we are very sick here in Tigo prison. We have complained about it for several times. It is now 9 months complaining about the same. Lower courts and other courts orders for us to give them or even employees of having special medical attention. Up to now, we have not yet got it. Your Lordships, we have children to look after. We have constituencies to look after and represent in Parliament. We have projects that have stalled for more than 9 months now, that are waiting for justice to prevail. And through you, Your Lordships, if I could help us and grant us a new way and leave prison, get a temporary freedom for all that, one us gets treatment, at least reach that day when the trial will commence, when we are fit to attend the trial, Your Lordship. We were tortured when we are rearrested. We have complained about this for several times, but just the state has denied it several times. But we know that in front of you, we can get that justice that we came for. I so pray, my Lordships. My Lord, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's quite absurd that the state is using remand as a punishment, and it's in the Uganda Constitution that remand should not be used as a punishment. My lords, I was kidnapped at the entrance of Chico prison the day I was released. I was tortured, but up to today I never received any medication. My lords, our reply is that it is just for today, so that we can go and get better medication. Thank you. That's my prayer, my lords.
Yes, both of you. Both of you, we are sorry if you are tortured. Torture is not allowed in this country. It's outlawed. It's a serious matter, and the court takes it seriously too. So if anybody tortures, it's against the law, and the court cannot allow that. For treatment, the court, law and order that will be according treatment in a place which fits your ailment. And we reiterate that the prison authorities should, where you are ailing should give you appropriate treatment. The application before us is for bail. So we are going to hear the application if we allow this. We don't allow this preliminary objection. There is an objection raised that this application should not be heard by this court. And that's what we have been hearing since morning. We are going to determine that and see whether the bail application is heard or not. And depending on the result of this preliminary objection, we then decide how to handle the matter. So the matters you raised, both of you, regarding your constituencies, your children, your sicknesses, and so on, if the bail application is allowed to be heard, will be addressed in the hearing of that application.
Maybe a question. Can you be clear? Are you saying that the treatment you're getting in hospital, in prison, is not sufficient? Because we are aware that the prison provides, specialists who visit and they assist you. You are not specific. Because the court is like he said, the court is not adverse to you being in good health. Did you hear what I said?
Yes. Yeah, we have always complained about it, your lordships. We have ailments that cannot be handled within the prisons, heart attack, and others of hypertension, and others that we suffered when mishandled at the day when we are rearrested. Some of our private parts are not well. We believe that if given that chance and go out, we can have our lives made better by special physiologists, and we will thank God for that. That's what we are meaning. But for malaria, there is treatment, and cough, there is treatment, but those are not the sicknesses that we are talking about. We are talking about ailments that need special attention, as you will hear if you grant us that chance of hearing our bail. We will hear from the presentation of our lawyers and us on that day. I thank you, my lordships.
Yes, you raised an important issue of ailments touching on your private parts and so on and so on. Did I hear you well? Sawanyana, did I hear you well?
Yes, you heard me well, your lordship. Only that the internet is disturbing us a bit.
Then which facility in Uganda would you want to go to handle that? Are you saying you should? Because you have not mentioned that we should be taken to Mulago, because Mulago is the referral hospital in this country. Should the prison authorities take you to Mulago for treatment or something like that?
We have always cried for such, but they have not, my lordship.
Okay. We note that, and we are asking and directing the prison authorities to ensure that you get treatment which will be able to handle your ailments. Do you have a prison officer? Yeah, they are there.
The services to check this name for a referral hospital.
Can you say your name and your rank and what you want to say?
Lord, I'm number 15722, Ward Ronald, working with the Uganda Prison Service, specifically at Chico Main Prison. My Lord, as far as the medical issue is concerned, our medical team is handling it very well, and I am convinced in case they need to be referred to the National Referral Hospital, which is in Mulago, our medical team can ably do that, my Lord.
Is it being done? The question is it being done?
The condition is not bad, my Lord.
It
It is a statement, he's not a doctor. It is just saying they are being looked after and they are getting medical attention.
But it is well.
What is saying it is specialized. And we are asking the prison authorities that please ensure that they get appropriate medical attention, including if it is necessary to take them to a specialist or to Mulago Hospital where we have all these specialists.
Okay. Much obliged, my lord. We are going to ensure that that directive is handled, is taken into consideration.
For the record, my lord,
Just a minute. Your prison officer. Yes, you have made your statement, but the person who is sick is near you there. And he says he's not feeling well. And has just gone out to vomit and come back. I'm sure you saw that, you must have followed him. So the ailment is there. I think it is important that we set timelines how you have these people treated by people competent to treat their ailments. Can we then say that maybe every 7 days you call a specialist, and if they are not able to come, you take them to a specialist. All these specialists are in Mulago Hospital. You bring them to the prison, or you take them there and they get that attention. Before we come back here, we are going to be here next Wednesday. So they should be treated before that day.
The specialists should know whether they need referral or not.
Okay? Is it clear? Prison officer, is it clear? Have you heard?
My lord, you're not clear. The microphone is not so clear, my lord.
But you have heard that we want them to be taken, or a specialist to see them before we come back here next Wednesday. The medical
Okay,
people will have to look at the
thank you so much, my lord. We are going to communicate with specialists, my lord.
Council, Elias Lukwago, do you have anything we think we don't have any right to reply?
it's not a medical matter.
Yes.
It was in regard to that issue.
Yes.
My lord, there are previous orders that have been given, but they have always been defined. That will be taken for examination. And not calling in the physician, because the physician will not come with the equipment. Say, for example, you need a scan or MRI, whatever.
That will be decided by the doctors. They know what is needed and where it should be done. And those orders were not given by the Court of Appeal. These are orders of this court, the prison authority.
Most of that, my lord. Just for the record, my lord.
Okay.
Just now, the person one that. On that day,
Okay, thank you.
yes. On 29th, I will not be here, but my colleagues.
That is another matter. We have not reached there. Don't cross. We have finished. The court has finished that matter. Council,
Just informing the
if
court.
that day you are not here, whoever will be representing them will talk.
I just wanted to be on record that I'll be out of the country, my lord.
No, we can't put that on record because that file is closed, you know.
Most of that, my colleagues will be here.
Yeah.
Most of that.
Okay.
ampuliriza ku KI, ampuliriza mwannyinaze omulungi, ampuliriza mwannyinaze omulungi. Luli netwaka yatucyankalanyeeko, data yatucyankalanyeeko, kyova olaba nga navuddeko kati nkomyewo. Tuli live mu kooti. Bambi kyensaba oba nga towulira kibi kyonna osobola okgenda ku YouTube n'olabira eyo. We are live ku YouTube ne ku Facebook. We are live both on YouTube and Facebook. If you don't feel bad, you can definitely move to oba towulira bubi osobola okgenda ku YouTube n'olabira eyo ku KI Mukulembeze official we tuli. Mwebale kubeera nti always mubeerako ate nga mugoberera ensonga ate nga wembaweereza mu ngeri emu oba endala. Leero Honorable Segirinya Muhammad n'omubaka ate no oyo ye Honorable Segirinya Muhammad omu gwasobola okuyita Mr. Update abadde asobodde okulaba nti babaleeta mu kigo muno babaleeta ku stream yeyo embeera eriwo mwannyinaze. Leka tugende tuwulirize ku bantu ab'enjawulo wano wabweru atuwulirize akapresa akyenkusaba osobola okulaba nti ate ensonga ozigoberera tusobola okulaba nti ate ozinnyonnyoka. Omuweereza wo KI Mukulembeze kwali nnyo data agezezako okulaba nti atusumbuwa nkulimu naye bamubyekirayi leero bamubyekirayi nkulimu nakugwe ekatongole ndowooza mubalaba Secretary General waali nnyo abantu ab'enjawulo we bali nnyo bagezako okulaba nti ate ensonga bazinnyonnyoka. Yeno embeera mwannyina. Thank you KI okuweereza nammwe mwebale kubeera nti ate always mugoberera ku YouTube ne ku Facebook. Mbeebaza nti eno ensonga si nnyangu naye tuba tulina okulaba nti ate tubaweereza ebigenda mu maaso. Leka mbalage ku mama wa Segirinya temutya nnyo
fene tubeera mu mbeera bwekiro batatusaasira tubeera nga lunaku tukaaba naye nga tebakikkiriza. Omwana wange namubeerako mwezi mulamba nga tewali ddala lengula ate kakati tebabagamba era batte muloba n'aba tebafa bufi bajja kuba bafa bufi babakkiriza bagenze babajjanjabe bakomewo babakkiriza siraba lwaki tebabakkiriza mwezi mulamba nga tewali waddeeke tubeerako nebuuza n'abasawo eddagala lyebiriwala engendo muokulira mubagamba tewali babakkirize kindi babajjanjabe. Baana bannayuganda tebalina gye bagenda kulaganza baba waabwe embeera wali banajja ne batwala nze bajje batwale nze naye ng'omwana wange ajjanjabiddwa olwogenda kufuna mu mutima nfuddeko sirina sinakijja kufuna mu nze mpulira mpooye mpulira mpooye omwezi omulamba gonna abeerayo nga tafunye wadde nendeeta ebyabiri bangamba tekikkirizibwa dde muwa.
Ampuliriza mwannyinaze omulungi aliko KI Mukulembeze mwebale kubeera nti ate ensonga muzigoberera. Tusobodde okulaba nti ate kooti olunaku olwaleero Honorable Segirinya Muhammad ne Honorable Alan Sowonyena basobodde okulaba nti ate babaleeta ku kooti babagambye bakomewo ennaku z'omwezi 29 ate ndowooza muwulidde abanyampi waliwo omulamuzi abadde omunyampi ng'ali ku nyampa mpi tabitegeera bamugamba kooti egamba ki empapula nazerabidde munsonyiwe mutusonyiwe looya nze omu kuba gwe muba musonyiwa naye mulamuzi gwe wasikimye eki mu bintu bwe biti. Nze mwewuunyiza nnyo omulamu ono nti nolooya nga tabimanyi bamugamba agamba nze nali abadde olupapula naye nsonyiwa ngenda duleeta ku makya ku maliri oyooza naye nga ensonga mwebale kubeera nti muziriko ku YouTube nayo tuli abali ku Facebook nebaza abali ku YouTube banange tugende tusupportinge ku YouTube eno atuweze watch hours ezeetaagisa ate tusobole okulaba nti ate weyambayamba tujja beera tukikuba rabadaba style ne ku YouTube gye tuli essaawa zino zennyini eko KI Mukulembeze twawaayo okulaba nti ate tuweereza gwe byotali si byotamanyi wabula gyotali nga gyendi nsobola okukuweereza ate ddala baganda baffe abali abatali mu Central n'abali mu Central naye ne baganda baffe bali ebweru w'e Uganda abaagala enkyukakyuka atwagala nnyo okulaba nti ate tubaweereza ne baganda baffe abali mu Uganda weewaawo kati nno gwali ku Facebook ali ku Facebook gendako ku YouTube saawa zino because anytime place yiyo nene nzibu place yiyo nzibu nene nzibu kyenkusaba 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 mwannyinaze omulungi nsaba osooka agendeko ku YouTube sobole okulaba ate ensonga nga nayo gyeri ogikuusa bulungi. Seka naffe tukola eno. Seka nawe kakkana. Seka naffe tukola eno. Tukola eno naffe. Buli omu akukomplaininga ko ate towulira. Okutebukwasi microphone kirira ate tawulira. Microphone zikwata ayinza ga mwana kirira buli omu amucomplain nza ogigyeko kawo bwakka
ensawo gyaweesa agigyeko
kati awo
ensawo
tuti agamba
We have made our case before the Constitution, the Court of Appeal, as to why we are seeking their audience, as to why we should entertain this matter, because the state contends that this court has no jurisdiction or has no authority to hear any appeal arising out of denial of bail by the High Court. And we find that strange, because it is a matter of rights, it's a matter of liberty, it's a constitutional matter. And that is the case we have made. That the Constitution clearly provides a remedy where one is aggrieved by a decision of the lower court. And it would be an absurdity if a decision is made that once you are denied the bail at the High Court level, you cannot access the appellate court. That a decision of the High Court on bail is final. That would be an absurdity. The High Court slammed the doors in the face of Honorable Sewanyano. The High Court slammed the doors in the face of the Honorable Segirinya. We are now knocking at the doors of the Court of Appeal, and the state is saying, no, don't open for them, let them go away. You shouldn't hear them. That would be very strange if the Court of Appeal also slammed the doors in our face. That's why we are praying for the intelligence of the court, that they listen to this matter and they accord the sanctity that is provided for in the Constitution about rights, and also consider the fact that these honorable members are suffering from ailments that were occasioned to them by the way they were treated by the state, and they have not been properly treated, because you have heard what they said. They have not received specialized attention or treatment. We have applied for court orders for their examination, but all in vain. We also say they are deprived, the people they are supposed to represent are deprived of that right. And also the fact that the trial has delayed, because it's now 9 months down the road, no indication that a session is about to be made for them to be heard. And that is our contention, that these are trumped up charges, and that now what is happening is not prosecution of these honorable members of parliament, but persecution. And persecution is banned in absolute terms by our constitution. Look at the provisions of Article 44 of the Constitution, which talks about non-derogable rights. You look at the provisions of Article 43, which says even prosecution shouldn't be abused to amount to persecution. So now we have already crossed the Rubicon, we have crossed the red line, we are in the realm or in the territory of persecution. And that's what we want court to address, that there should be no persecution perpetrated by the state. So as we will see now, they don't have evidence against them, they have not been tried, they have not been in any way subjected to any kind of investigation or trial. And therefore, court should not condone that. Yes, court has listened to our submissions. They said they are going to give their ruling on Wednesday, the 29th. We shall wait and see what comes out of their decision. But our prayer is that rights be upheld, be accorded to sanctity. We should enjoy it, and that is the confession we are making before this honorable court. Hopefully, court will deliver a ruling in our favor, and proceed to entertain the matter we make and release them accordingly, because they are not going to have this court. They will stand the trial. They continue executing their duties as members of parliament. At the same time, they attend the trial, because we believe these are frivolous charges. These charges are trumped up. They are not in any way sustainable. There is no way one can say Girinya or Sewanyana hacked people to death with machetes in Masaka Way. That is outrageous. On the question of trial, it's not within our reach, because now it's at the instance of the state to cause the matter to be fixed for hearing. And it's also within the prerogative of the court to set a session within which this matter should be heard. For us, we are just on the receiving end. It's only the court and the state who are in charge of the process of causing the matter to be heard. Our hands are tied when it comes to the hearing. Maybe I should use this opportunity to allow you also use this opportunity to tell you that we have filed the bail application that is again in the High Court. You can see it's also challenging persecution. We are waiting for the matter to be heard and be fixed for hearing. You will receive copies of the same. Now, the matter. Tuzze wano nga tumaze ebbanga ddene nga tusaba Court of Appeal etujune etuwulirize kubanga kooti eya wansi High Court yatuyisa si bulungi oluvannyuma lw'omulamuzi Victoria Nakintu okuwa bail ba honorable members of parliament. Kooti neragira basasule $2 million zasasulwa. Bwe bamala ozisasula ate ne baddamu ne bawambibwa ne baggulibwako emisango mulala. Justice tweyanze n'aba mu mabeeyi. Ne tuteekamu bail application endala ne bagaana ojjuulira. Tuli ku record Justice tweyanze twamugamba kale oba owulidde bail application tutaddemu eyokuli nayo n'agaana okujulira. Kati ng'ekkubo lyekulaza lirimu yakujulira mu kooti esingawo kubanga kooti esooka bweba tekuwadde bwenkanya n'ogezaako kyonna kyosobola anetakuwa bwenkanya olina okugenda mu esingawo. Kooti esooka eya High Court yaggalawo olugulu olw'enkanya yaluggalawo kinako
twebbira enduulu kkooti eya wansi etuggaliddeyo abantu bafundira mu makomera nga tukusaba ne siteeti egamba abantu bazze mu bukyamu wano bazzeeyo mu kkooti eya wansi ate kkooti eya wansi oluggi yaluggala kakati kyetugambye kkooti abantu bano bafundire mu makomera baffe olw'okubanga kkooti eya wansi siteeti egamba nti kkooti eya wansi yeno bawuliriza amateeka tugalambise bulungi agalaga nti kkooti eno obulungi okuwulirako tugalambise bulungi bonna era tugende kkooti nesala amazima ku nsonga eno negamba nti waliwo okutandika enkali abantu babadde mukomera okumala emyezi 2 mulamuzi yagamba nti onoba wa bbeeyi baliraikira okudduka olw'obunene bw'emisango izo terrorism, abetting terrorism, murder, attempted murder, naga bino emisango minene nnyo ate olw'okubanga babaka ba parliament bayinza n'okutaataaganya obujulizi n'asalirawo n'agamba zitagenda bawa bbeeyi naye ng'ate bamaze okufuna bbeeyi kkooti yemu mulamuzi omulala tukusanga nga nakyo kyali kimenya nabbeera akatuli wano kkooti eno omumemba wa palamenti bakiiko kakikirira abantu kubanga constitution tebalina musango okutuusa nga baleeteddwako obujulizi obubalumika n'okutuusa olwaleero gavumenti tenaleeta bujulizi mukakasa bazza omusango nti be batema abantu e Masaka n'Erwende gavumenti eno tenaleeta bujulizi ate twebuuza lwaki emyezi 9 bwe baba nga balina obujulizi lwaki tebabuleeta lwaki omusango ensonga ezetusaba bakkirize bave bweru beyimirirwe bave bweru ne miliyoni 2 bazisasula dda buli omu bave bweru bajje nga bawoza kubanga ne siteeti obujulizi bugera byokufuna so katulinde ku lunaku olwokusatu kyebagenda okusalawo babatuwuliriza oba tebamuwulira naye nga ffe tubasaba kitebagala oluggi kubanga ekyo kijja kuba kireesewo embeera ey'okulindirira eddembe lyabwe wamu n'okuba tezemateeka kaweereddwa mwaganda kukola ekijja kuba kya bulabe nnyo 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 nti beyiri ekoma ku high court nti high court bwekuma beyiri tolina walala gyoddukira kubanga kooti eddako mu hairakaawo ye kooti of appeal kati bali kyebajwingako nti singa high court ekuma beyiri tojja kujja mu high court kujulira nti olina tojja kujja mu kooti of appeal nti olina kuddayo mu kooti yemu n'oteekamu application empya tubabuuza singa era kumma kubanga ensonga zeyagikumiddeko era ejja kuziwanga zensonga zezimu egambe gwe wali wano buli n'okusaba bbeeyi twakugamba ojja kudduka bwe tunaakuwa kooti bbeeyi twakugamba nti ojja kutataaganya obujulizi ate okomyewo okola ki era infact kyetwatuukako twateekayo application ey'okubiri gesitusoyanziraga kati ate munomyeyo mugende mwenda bagoba kakati ate bantu batugamba basiteeti ato tuddeewo omulamuzi y'omu ekyo kyabulabe nnyo 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 era ensonga etugitaddeko nyesira nga tugamba kooti eno teggalawo luggi tegamba nti temulina muddeeyo wansi gyebaba tulugujiza kibanga omuntu adduka mu nnyumba ekutte omuliro afuluma gwomuga addayo mu nnyumba eyafa kiba kyabulabe tutaddeyo era n'okusaba kwa kano Dr. Kiza Besigye mu kooti okusaba okweyimirirwa ensonga enkulu ya prosecution kubanga omulamuzi asooka mu kooti eya wansi yagamba nti oyo omuwa bbeeyi sina bukakafu nti tebagenda kuuza wano kakati alinga eyamukonviktindi omugisingisa by'omusango kubanga mu mateeka kiri omuntu talina musango kumusanga kotemusingiza n'omulamuzi Asumani Muhumuza yagamba gwe bwenaakutta ku bbeeyi kiba tikitegeeza ojja kukomezebwawo wano ekitegeeza nti siteeti kati wekwata emirundi emingi n'ekuleeta oba tojja kufuna bbeeyi ate nga tulina control ku siteeti siteeti nawala ojjudde esobola okukwata netuleeta n'enkya naluli so ebintu bino bya bulabe mukiraba nti bakozesa kooti eyo wansi okunyigiriza abantu abavuganya gavumenti eyo abantu abalwanirira obwenkati bavuga nti kooti eyo etaasa embeera wansi eyo kirimu
Thank you very much. And I want to appreciate the legal team, who's led by Lord Mayor and Honorable Sophie Malende and our other lawyers for the great work they have continued to do to try to see that these our honorable members get out of prison. For me, I'll just speak very briefly and to emphasize the question of persecution. If they can treat members of parliament in this manner, that they have been in prison without trial for 9 months now, then what about ordinary citizens in this country? Ordinary citizens who the media does not even focus on. Up to now, we still have hundreds of our people in jails, and they have not even been brought before any court of law for over a year. So I think the citizens of Uganda need to see what is going on and see it for what it is. I felt very angry when I saw the state, bring another technicality to try and delay the hearing of this matter. This is a question about the rights of people who are sick, who have not had a chance to interact with their families, who are members of parliament and their constituencies have been left alone. And the state shamelessly, which should right now be in the dock for persecuting these people, is busy saying that there are technicalities, that this matter should go back to the High Court for another application. The Lord Mayor and the other lawyers raised that point, that so many times they've raised other applications for bail and they've actually not been entertained. I know they have written to the principal judge and done everything possible to see that the trial commences, but that has not been entertained. Njagala kwogera bigambo bitono nnyo emphasis yange eri bannayuganda bannansi kwe kulaba embeera egenda mu maaso kiba n'abantu bwe baba basobola okuyisa ababaka ba palamenti mu ngeri eyo kati kweteeberezamu abantu ba bulijjo kikye bayitamu mu court system yaffe oba mu criminal justice system yaffe. Njagala okwebaza nnyo bannamateeka abakulemberwa mu Lord Elias Lukwago ne Shami Malende n'abalala abagezezaako nnyo okugoberera ensonga eno, naye okusaba bannayuganda ffenna ffenna twebereremu kubanga nga bwolaba courts kati Mwami Museveni azikozesa okupasekitika abo abatakkiriziganya naye. Bano ababaka bakamala emyezi 9 Biramba Mukomera, balwadde, family zaabwe ziri awo, constituencies zaabwe n'ebirala byonna byogeddeko, naye state attorney n'avaayo okugamba nti kati guno omusango guddeyo kooti ya wansi. Era kooti ya wansi yennyini nga bannamateeka bano bagezezaako kwapulayinga emirundi egy'enjawulo nga tebawuliriza. Kyakuswaku kyanaku naye kijja kujjako bino byonna bannayuganda kwebereramu ne bagoba nakyemalira n'abantu.
abampuliriza abaganda bange abampuliriza ku KI Mukulembeze ku YouTube ne Facebook mwebale kuleba ati ensonga nga muzibeererako ddala. Nze omuweerezaawo always bampita KI Mukulembeze. Mumira nsanafu agenda kubeerako nekyayogera ku lunaku olwaleero. Oyo omwami bamuyita Honorable oba osobola omuyita Katongole owa breaking news, zonna amannya mugamuyita, naye omusajja mu byamateeka afaayo mu bantu ba struggle, abeerawo nnyo. Kale Honorable Katongole, mbadde nsaba obeereko nekyogamba olunaku olwaleero kooti gwogitegedde otya, bano abawolereza ba gavumenti walabye otya, because obalabe batamwattamu, gwe kikyoyogera ku lunaku olwaleero?
Ekisookera ddala bbanga ddene nga mikwano gyaffe ababaka baffe Honorable Seginya, Honorable Alan Sewanyana bali mukomera. Kyewuunyisa nti okulaba ababaka bawanjaga buli lunaku eri ngiyita Temple of Justice, nti tusaba batuyambe tugende tujjanjabwe. Nekitasoboka kino kikulaga nti gavumenti nesigedda muzibivunze, era mu kino kiraga nti kubanga emyezi 9 mu mateeka n'okumala mukomera emyezi 6 oli ku musango omunene n'ekigendererwa ki, era n'omulamuzi akibuzizza state obujulizi tabuleeta, ababaka bali mu kubungira mu kukomera. So mu mbeera eno twewuunya kiki ekigenda mu maaso, era twagala okutegeeza bannayuganda nti mu kaseera kano bino byonna ebigenda mu maaso okutulugunya ababaka n'okubabeeza mu kukomera babateeyi n'ekigendererwa kyabwe okuba nga banafuya ababaka ba palamenti nga bannayuganda bonna gye bali okulaba nga tulwanira Segirinya akaabidde mu kooti avuddire kikomera naye nga bikino lwaki bakiteekawo lwabigendererwa bwabwe naye nga ffe tulinze obwesiba kubanga tuyinza kukyewunyisa kooti zonna ziri ku deeti yemu kino kiteeketeeke lwaki kooti zonna bazitadde ku deeti yemu kubanga eri tugenda 29 nawe bataddewo 29 ekigenderwa kyabwe kwe kulaba nga bayisaawo bba ebyabwe tebifo balinga mwami Museveni okulaba nti batya nnyo abantu bakimanyi bwe beeyawulamu abantu ne badde eno ebyo byonna babeera bakimira kubeera nga kubawa kibawadde naye ffe tetugenda kugaana kujja tulina okuyita mu mateeka kubanga bali abantu babaka ba palamenti abalina okigenderwaabwe.
Honorable, waliwo ensonga saagala nkimanyi toyagala nnyo giwabudde naye oli musajja wa Lubaga enalabyeyo akazimbe ke baakoze akokwogerako ki akayungu
akayungu ke baakoze
yesebo
era katongole sobola kubeera komanda wano mu Lubaga ebyo ne bibeerawo bamambulira komanda ki ekigenda mu maaso kiki kibiri bye batadde wano so mukulu Kibalama ebigenda okujja byonna abirinde kubanga mukulu Kibalama alinga eggulu omuntu aba tagenda ddirya ne balyayiseeko balitwala ne baliwo embizzi era eggulu likozesebwa embizzi ze ziri mu kukozesa mukulu Kibalama era eggulu omuntu ategeera ne bakusanga ng'oli eggulu kiba kyewuunyisa Kibalama yange era njagala okuwuula ng'obutivi obuyita abantu nga ba Kibalama kubanga national unity platform kibeina mu ssemateeka ekyaweebwa era ne kikakasibwa nti Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu ye president waabwe nabalabye nga beekutakuta mu Galumonde bali eyo bafunye ebiyumbayumba ebitategeereka amagye ge gabakuuma batandise n'okweteekako embeera mu beerumbye beekube bafune sympathy ate abantu b'e Lubaga bakambwe Kibalama ku myaka gye teyalikiriza kuswalaswala kukola bintu byansonyi n'otunuulira abamukozesa amagye ge ogeze ku bibiina by'obufuzi ebyenjawulo
yesebo
ebitebe bikuumibwa magye
nedda
Kibalama emyaka gye n'abali mukozesa waliwo akasajja bakayita musambaziira
yes
kasipiika k'e Lubaga batula mu meeting emu ku Jovine Hotel eri awo mu Ndeeba ne bateesa ddiiru ne bagenda ewandiikamu nge ne basiba ssente ze basita naye mu kino abantu b'e Lubaga tubagamba tutakugiza innocence era bonna abali mu kikola n'abakipanga tubagamba ekitebe ekituufu ekya national platform kiri kamwokya bali mu byabwe eggulu bizi ze zibakozesa tebali mugaso era kati tugeze N.U.P tugimuwadde
tagisobola
yali alina akabiina akani yali akamanyi mu kusooka
tewali katongole
kyalina okwogiriza abantu tebaagala nti N.U.P nga N.U.P Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu nanyini masannyalaze era Bobi Wine enkya n'atuuka naga nti munnange tutandise ekibiina ekirala abantu bajja kibula Balama zino embizzi ezimukozesa zo zirowooza nti baagala
N.U.P yefuna
nze mbasaasidde era njagala kugamba bannayuganda abaliyo temutya wizi Kibalama ebyo byonna bibaddewo batuteeka mu kino na kino neffe gye twagala okubagamba tusigale ku mulama gumu ogw'okulaba nga tulwana ensonga enkulu ebitalina makulu tubireke Kibalama kikonwa ebikonwa tebalizimbisa na nnyumba nayo Simaaka Gombewe batuulaawo banoonya ddiiru omanyi kyenawulidde baagala Kyagulanyi abayite nange kati temuntawaanya ekyo tekiriyo President Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu kati gyamwami Museveni kubanga oli mukozesa banno tuuka ogambe nti N.U.P teriiyo kasi ate kiba kitegeeza ki abakimanyi kitegeeza amaanyi g'abantu kati abo babakozese balye ssente zaabwe ndabula munnabyabufuzi yenna ng'oliyo Museveni akozesa mu mbeera ey'ekisubi ey'ekigwagwa ng'olemye okutunuulira ensonga zo mutunuulira Kibalama ku myaka gy'alina yesoa zino singa yetegekera kufa yetegekera kugenda mu ggulu ekisajja kyattu bakikozesa bakitwala eri obulwadde bukiruma kati abantu ng'abo bakibalama tulina okubanoonya DNA
statement kyeno ogyogerako ki ey'okubeera nti bagamba nti Kibalama mu mawulire gayitingana nti Museveni trained us, the state trained us to lie against Bobi Wine.
Akugimba mazima kubanga Kyagulanyi Robert Ssentamu ekyenjawulo kyalina president waffe nti ye gye bufa bwenkana ono omuntu bw'omulyamu olukuba noyogera ebyekisiro ovaayo neweeyogera mu bantu nze nakola kino kati mukulu Kibalama bwe bayavaayo n'akola statement eyo era nga Kibalama mu kusooka yajja n'akakasa ensiiti baali bamukozesa okwogera byeyogera kati kikyatugamba oyo aba talina kyatugamba wakwesonyiwa era tetugenda muwa makulu kubanga ensonga zizakibobwe ate abantu tumanyi kyetuliko essaawa zino ne people power wenna alina okitegeera nti National Unity Platform kyekibiina ky'Abannayuganda ate nga kisaalibwa kamuca wenna munnayuganda tobuzibwabuzibwa felubange ebyo tetugenda bikkiriza kubeerawo era nkuwadde ennaku
oye Katongole mumira nsanafu Kanso Bagonza agenda kubeerako nekyayogera eri abawuliriza ono nno omwami kansala naye mwegendereze mumulaba nnyo buli wamu simanyi omutima gwalina gwa ddala abeerawo buli wamu ku muntu yenna anyigirizibwa tumanyi musajja wa kawempe leka naye abeereko n'ebigambo 3-4 abyawulidde mu kkooti ebitamusanyusizza wadde yesebo ekyo amaanyi ga Mukama tugenda kuweereza Abannayuganda paka amiina
bafuna obwenkanya kwemirira basaba okugaanibwa mu kkooti era tuli bagumu nti ku mulundi guno bajja kufuna obwenkanya mu kkooti eno ensukkiremu kubanga kiri ku matendera kkooti ensukkire court of appeal era esobola okutulanga constitutional court okutegeeza okanga kkooti eno esinga eddembe ly'ababaka ba paalamenti article 50 ya constitution ya Uganda egamba nti kkooti enegavumisa human rights and freedoms ez'Abannayuganda bwekisobola kkooti tolina okusa obuyinza bwayo ababaka bafune obwenkanya era tubasanyusidde bazalire batemuke bazakkayiza abamobilayizinze bannamabanamu n'ensi yonna okuweza baffe tukkiriza nti abantu abo gye bakomagoberera omusango n'abalamuzi kibayitira okusalawo
kiri mukulu Bagonza oyogera ku pointi kikweno okubeera nti ekkooti bazitaddeyo olunaku leero mujjukira olunaku luli twali eri simanyi babagiyita anti-corruption simanyi nabbi manyanze sigitegeera kale ate neeno lwe lunaku lwe lumu okyogerako mu kulabako kigendererwa ki
nze nga Bagonza nsanyukidde lwa nsonga emu babbiri nti teri kigenda kulemesa kkooti kuwansala yayo ate era tumanyi kkooti process z'Uganda badde abalamuzi batiisibwatiisibwa judiciary wadde eri independent eriteekeddwa okubanga mu mateeka eri yatulutadde awambibwa ku mulyango gwa kkooti etuli bagumu nti ekoze okusembereza okusalawo kwayo okusalawo kwayo okusalawo nga banaawulirwa beria bwe naawulirwa era nze okusinga otukushira mwezi ogujja ozomunya bakukigushira mwezi guno era singa naasalawo era ndiba okufundibwa kusalawo nti tuliho bemera kwabwe ekimanyi bulungi bajja kufuna eddembe laba kitwagala bakabona baana bakugenda babiri bafuna okulayina mu kulwanira eddembe ly'abasibembere mwezi wano tukimanya ababaka baasiibwa kati emyezi bali mu mwenda era n'omulamuzi agambye ngeyonya new state okuba nti teriredde tukuuse ya komiti ng'amanyako nga lunaku lwonna nti yo nga ye bafuna pawutugamba nti nga Honorable Segenya wagambye kkooti ekisemateeka mu ggwanga Uganda atakkiriza n'olunaku n'oluku kkooti oba state okutreatinga remand as a sentence era naffe abatunuulira ensonga kituwakanya ensonga lwakitadde mu kkooti bulirwamu
omukulu Bagonza omaliriza waliwo abamu abayagala okweyita pulezidenti b'ekibiina mbadde nsaba gw'otumbye pulezidenti wo omulungi gw'omanyi abangi kibalume awo wennyini kibula nkikuwadde yesebo yes
His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu.
Awo nno bangi kibaluma. Yes.
The President wa Mighty Party National Unity Platform. Era ababagamba mu pati zaabwe zaaliwo twali tuzimanyi twazitegera ku President Robert Kyagulanyi yali akulira ekisinde kya People Power Movement.
Yes.
Ne baagala omusibira aleme kwesimbawo nga independent candidate n'agamba nti akibalama anti ogamba nti olukamulama gwa unity ole MMOU kibiina kibateerera era kibalama yasanyuka nnyo juzi ali ku likodi mawulire ne mu kooti mu mawulire ne mu kooti ng'aga nti yatiisibwa he was coerced, arrested by the state and forced by the state to tell lies nti temanyi Kyagulanyi wegambe Kyagulanyi nga
exactly. Mukozesa
mulimba munanfuusi atakozesa abantu n'abasoma so omuntu gwetulwanyisa bwetulaba omuntu yenna yenna ate ayimirira mu kkubo lyaffe nakyemalire mujjawo era ffe tumutwaliramu era omulyango ogulonda okukolagana Museveni n'abo bonna bonna bageza
abakolagana naye
kubatwala muganda KI mukulembeze kababeere mu opposition nga beerimbiso kababeere bennyini bakolagana nabo era omwami KI nkwebaza nnyo nemera ku nsonga era nsaba abagoberezi bagobere okugoberera okusapooti muganda KI
ekyo nno kikulu bakubirize walayi kikulu
wakati wanisonga okusewa ate ng'olina okugenda waba activity endala ssatu zendabizo olina okugenda
luli abantu bandaba nga kapiki nkawunzise ne batyamu embeera yaka lunaku luliba lumu oyo bagonza Thomas mbebaza mwenna abaliko mukwano gwange ndike ayi mukulembeze ensonga zonna mwebali kubeera nti muzisobera akyogedde bulungi nti bannanke ayi okoze omulimu munene bambi esobola kuva waggulu nga ngamba watabeerawo omuntu yenna anyamba kiba kinkoze bubi nire essimu luli wasoose okuvaako yabadde data naye namba zange ziri very open and clear for data okubeera nti onyamba 070 31 93 294 070 31 93 294 eyo ye MTN eyo ye Airtel MTN 0781 333 619 619 0781 333 619 banayo banga oyinayo bonna kadata ako kaba kankolera nnyo ekamberekereza omukama Katonda omulungi atuwa ebisinga okubeera ebirungi ne ku YouTube gye tuli ne ku Facebook